All right, y'all, it's your boy Zxous, and I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. I didn't even get to edit my Dorothy video yet. I just don't care to right now. We are here for one thing and one thing only: favorite items. Now, I am so excited for favorite items. I just love them. Being able to revive a dead character is like the greatest thing in any game. Like, I'm so excited. So we're gonna take a look at all the new favorite items, which is obviously for Bae, Tove, Polly, and Julia. I'm really excited for Bae's. I'm really excited for Polly's, and I am very curious about Julia's. I doubt they're gonna make Tove broken. She was already very good, realistically. Like, I don't know why she got a favorite item, and I guess technically same thing with Bae. But Polly and Julia, I would say I'm really excited for. Let's start off with Polly's and see what she's got going on here, right? So, okay. Let's take a look. Shotgun, obviously. So before, on her skill 1, after 5 normal attacks affected all allies, she would give a attack buff of 5.46% for 10 seconds, right? Now, she still does the same thing, but when entering a battle, effect self, she will create a shield equal to 100% of the caster's final max HP for 10 seconds, which I feel like is cool. I don't necessarily see, maybe that's better in PvP. I'm not sure why she would need that for the very first 10 seconds. Maybe they should have made it like continuously, right? Or she just has that for the whole game until it's broken. Like, she just starts the game off with the shield and has that until the enemy breaks it. But sure, maybe this will make more sense later, but it's free. But realistically, I don't think that was needed. Maybe if it was to all allies, that would have been better as well. I'm not sure. Don't necessarily understand why that's there, but sure. Let's take a look at her skill 2, which is her burst skill. So before, it created a shield equivalent to 22.27% of the caster's final max HP, which protects all allies from damage that lasts for 10 seconds, and she would give the craziest buff of 44.55% for 10 seconds. Now, if self is in the police badge status, is that this? It is. For 5 seconds, you'll get indomitability. Okay. Now, can she reapply this? Because it says when entering a battle. So maybe on her skill 2, she has some type of way to reapply that. But if this character gets indomitability and has a taunt mechanic for having that police status thing, police badge thing, that's good. I feel like, because now I can just use Bae and Polly together with some type of ability like that. Indomitability is crazy. It makes it that you literally can't die. Like, you cannot die with indomitability, right? She still does give a shield to herself, but it's now at 40% of the caster's final max HP, which protects all allies from damage. So that got buffed as well. So she got indomitability and a 40% shield instead of a 22%. And then the attack buff of 44.55% is still the same. I was kind of hoping that they lowered her cooldown. I hope they lower somebody's cooldown from 40 to 20 seconds because they've done that before. But hey, it is what it is. I think this is really good. She just needs to have some type of way to re-enter this police badge stage. So let's take a look and see if her skill 2 does that. Skill 2, that's a good boy. Affect self and 2 ally units with the lowest remaining HP except caster. She would give them a defensive buff of 23.51% for 10 seconds, and then equally shares damage take for 10 seconds. That's what she did before, and that was on a 20-second cooldown. Now, it's the same thing, literally, but this happens every 20 seconds, so it's the same thing. They just removed it here. It's still a passive. It's just every 20 seconds you give the same thing, but activates when police badge ends effect self, continuously recovers 5% of the caster's final max HP every 1 second for 5 seconds. I feel like they messed up. I feel like they fumbled. I feel like if they had some type of way of re-getting this right here, she would be very good. Like, don't get me wrong, because like what I'm understanding from this is, right, this is not the police status thing, right? Like, the shield, if it's just having a shield on her, then that's a different story. I feel like if it's just she needs a shield on her and then it's considered a police badge status, that's a different story. But from what I'm reading and what I'm understanding, she only will have the police badge status for like the start of the battle, and that will only last for 10 seconds. So she will only have this indomitability effect for literally one time of the game, realistically, and then like she will keep recovering, but this again also only happens one time because it says activates when the police badge status ends, affects self, she will recover 5% of the caster's final max HP every 1 sec for 5 seconds. So I feel like they fumbled with Polly there. Let me know down below in the comments. I feel like they fumbled with Polly there, respectfully. Anyway, let's go to Tove, who's next, right? I'm getting used to calling her Tove. I used to call her Tove, y'all. Anyway, let's take a look, because she was very broken already, I feel like. She was very good before. I don't know why they gave her favorite item, but it's okay. So her skill 1, right? Before, she had a 5% chance of activating when attacking for the emergency crafted bullets, and she would give a reload to magazines for herself of 5.31%, right? And then activates during emergency bullet craft. So whenever she got this effect, she would have temporary modification for all allies, which increased ammo capacity by 2. That stacked up to 3 times and lasts for 5 seconds. And she would give a crit damage buff of 5.24% for 5 seconds. Now, once she performs 10 normal attacks, she will get that, which is a lot better. I mean, realistically, the 5%, I know it's only 5%, but you were having no problem getting like 3 stacks. You were getting that within like 10 seconds, bro. You had no problem getting those 3 stacks. Like, Tove is just that good, realistically. And I think it's only because, like, remember, her skill 1 had to be a level 9 to get that 5%, right? Which is crazy to me, but it is what it is, right? But now it's just 10 it's just 10 normal attacks rather than it being 5%. So now her first skill no longer has to be like a level 5 requirement thing, which is good, right? Or level 9. You no longer need to fully invest into her at level 9 if you have her favorite item, basically, right? And then literally the second part is the exact same. Okay, cool. So sure. Her burst skill is okay. Before, it gave a attack buff of 2.20 or 32% of the caster's attack and mirrored the stat count of temporary modification. And this went to all allies. And then if it was an ally with a shotgun, they would also get a 24% attack buff of the caster's attack, and that would mirror the stat count of the temporary modification by, you know, obviously 3, because that's the max stat count for temporary modification. Now, rather than it all lasting for 10 seconds, it looks like it's the exact same things, but they just last for 15 seconds, which is great, I feel like. I mean, it's an extra 5 seconds, so that's an extra 5 seconds of damage. That's great. That's really good, right? I mean, it's not changing the percentage of anything. Like, realistically, I feel like they didn't actually change anything about this character. They kind of just saved her. Because now, again, the skill 1, you no longer have to have that at level 9 if you have the favorite item. And then her burst skill lasts the extra 5 seconds, which her burst skill is like a crazy buffs, technically, right? If you're fully stacked up, that becomes like a 60-something% attack buff, which is crazy, right? Or a 70% actually. And then her skill 2 only activates when temporary modification is fully stacked, affects all allies. She would give a crit rate buff of 3.32% continuously. And then when she was fully stacked on temporary modification, all shotgun allies would get an attack speed of 42.24% continuously. Now it's the exact same thing, but rather than the crit rate being 3%, it's 10%. Okay. Honestly, I don't think hers is too bad. I feel like they more of just like fixed her than really buffed her. I would say it kind of feels like a waste of a favorite item in the sense of like she's not really getting much of a buff, right? They just made it that she's not a character that needs to be fully invested into anymore with that skill 1, because her skill 1 literally had to be a minimum of level 9. Minimum of level 9 to get 5%, which was crazy because it made a huge difference in the performance of the character. But okay, that's Tove. Let me know if you guys think hers is good or not. Julia's, this character better be the best one out of all 4 of them because she's literally been garbage since release, right? So let's take a look and see. Okay, her skill 2, okay, activates when the last bullet hits the target affects self. She would give herself a crit damage buff of 24.79% that stacks up to 5 times and lasts for 15 seconds, which was quite crazy. Now, after landing 6 critical hits with normal attacks, oh my god, she will stack up on this. Okay, she will stack up on this crescendo, whatever, after 6 critical hits with normal attacks. I feel like that's a lot better. What was her weapon? My bad. AR? I feel like that's a lot better than when the last bullet hits. That's 10 times better. Okay. Activates when landing 8 critical hits with normal attacks, affects the targets. Deals 88% of final attack as additional damage. That's good. Lands if Macchiato lands a critical attack, affects the same target, deals 100% final attack of the. So if she crits with the second part, the 8 critical hits, then she will deal an additional 100% of final attack of damage. And then when entering the battle, fully force uses skill 1. She automatically uses her skill 1. Okay, what's her skill 1? Okay, so when you enter the battle, right before, what it was is that she would give herself a crit rate buff of 26% for 10 seconds, and that would happen every 20 seconds. Now at the start of the battle, she will instantly start off with 26% that will last for 10 seconds, give herself a oh my god, they made her good. She gets a normal attack buff of 36% crit rate, a normal attack crit rate buff of 36% for 10 seconds, an attack buff of 20% for 10 seconds, and a crit rate buff of 26% for 10 seconds. And that's like reapplying every other 10 seconds now. That's crazy. So she just starts off the game with what, 60 something percent crit rate for her normal attack, and then an attack buff. Mind you, if she crits, she deals an addition. Oh my god, she's stacking crit damage. She deals additional 100. Oh my gosh, you must be nasty. What's her burst skill? Okay, her burst skill affects 5 enemy units with the highest final defense, and she would deal 544% of a final attack as damage, right? And then if she was fully stacked on her crescendo, whatever it's called, then she would deal an additional 544% to that same enemy, right? Now it's a random enemies, right? But she will deal 544% final attack as damage, attack sequential for 5 times. So now it's 544% of final attack as damage that multiplies 5 times to random enemies. Now, if she's fighting one singular enemy, she's dealing 544% to that one enemy 5 times. And then if she's a fully stacked, she will deal an addition. They made her good. This is a good character now, I feel like. Oh my god. Overload gear, fully overload gear Julia might go crazy. She might go crazy. So far, Julia easily, this is a buff. This is what I'm talking about. Julia used to be one of the worst characters in the game, and now I feel like she has a lot of value because they really saved her. They really made it that she's going to do more damage. I'm excited to test out her favorite items when we have access to that, right? If any of you guys get their favorite items, let me know. I'm ready to try it all out, but like their full favorite item, not like just the first 2 skills, I mean, right? So far, Julia is looking the best out of the 3 we've looked at. Let's look at my personal favorite with them Jordans. I mean, they're not going to actually be Jordans on the screen because it's Nikke, but the Jordans, they come in clutch. You did not need a favorite item in my opinion, but let's see what you got. Okay, so her skill 1 before activates when using burst skill. Only if self is alive, right? Protects all allies basically, or affects all allies. She would have the proportionally shared damage taken continuously and then give herself a defensive buff, or all allies a defensive buff of 10% of the casted defense continuously. That's okay. Now it's the exact same thing, literally, but activates when performing a full charge attack, affects all allies besides yourself, recovers 4% of the caster's final max HP. Do you know why that's pretty good already? Because if she's still on a 40-second cooldown and she's doing that with a full charge, that means she now works with Crown. That means Bay is now another character that works with Crown's second skill. So you could actually make very good use of having Bay's tanking capabilities and then her healing. Not only is she healing, she doesn't heal herself. Naturally, they would make it that she can't heal herself because that would just be cheating, right? But now she can heal out Crown. So I feel like that's quite the combo right there because that works with Crown very well right there. Her second skill, right? Activates when using a burst skill, only if self is alive again, right? She would have the proportionally shared damage taken continuously, and then activates when the full burst ends, affects self. She would constantly recover her cover HP by 2.88% of the caster's final max HP every 1 second for 5 seconds. Now she has the exact same thing, but activates when entering burst stage 1 and self cover has been destroyed. Recovers 20% of the caster's final max HP. Oh, that's good. So so now if I don't have Biscuit on my team, right? And because she already takes everybody's damage, if they destroy my cover anytime I use a burst 1, she will heal herself by 20% of her final max HP. She's a defender, y'all. Bei's already a tanky character, and now she's self-healing. Oh my god. I'm liking what I'm seeing. Okay, this right here is what we need to see. All I'm asking is that they give her rebuild cover, right? I know she doesn't need it now with her skill 2, but let's see, right? Because I don't want to have to use Biscuit with her all the time. But anyways, before she used to covers max HP increased by 18% of the caster's max HP that lasts for 20 seconds, and then damage taken decreased by 8% for 10 seconds to all allies. Now, if self cover has been destroyed, rebuilds cover with 20%. Mwah! That's all she needed. Oh my god, it only works one time per battle. I feel like that's still fine. I feel like that's really, considering the fact that she gets her heals now off of like a burst one using their burst skill, that's fine. That's realistically fine. But she rebuilds cover, so I don't need to have Biscuit anymore. Activates once per battle. Affects self, she will increase the, max HP of cover by 18%. So it's the same thing. They just kind of worded it different there. And then the attack damage or the damage taken buff is still the same. So she rebuilds cover one time. Realistically, they made Bei good. Like they and Julia realistically got like the best favorite items, because Bei now no longer needs Biscuit, and now she works with Crown, which is very good because she's a 40-second cooldown character, right? So you're forced to bring another burst 2 anyway, and now that you can bring her and Crown, right? Like your team can literally be Little Mermaid, right? Or whoever you want your burst 1 to be, and then it can be Bei and Crown skill 2 is now being affected because of Bei's skill 1, right? With the healing. Very, very good. And then anytime burst 1 uses their you use a burst 1's burst skill, she will heal her own HP of 20%. Like she's nasty, bro. She's good because Bei could not take damage before, and now she's gotten everything she needed, which is rebuilding and healing. That's all she needed. She just needed rebuilding her own cover and healing in some way, shape, or form to herself, right? That was like better than whatever she had before. Like she never had good healing. She never did. If you take a look at her kit, right? She constantly covers its HP. She never had healing. So now that Bei has healing for herself and rebuilds the cover, they made Bei broken. Literally, she's going to be the tankiest character in this game. Julia and Bei are the two characters, in my opinion, that got the best favorite items. They fumbled with Polly hard, and then obviously Tove, they really just like made her kit make more sense. I feel like they made it that she doesn't need to be fully invested into. But if you want me to be honest, I would say, and if we're talking about in general use, I would say Julia got the best favorite item, then I would say Bei, and then I would say Tove, and then I would say Polly. That's the order. But realistically, I like Bei is going to be used on all my teams now because she works well with Crown, and not only is she getting a favorite item, which means if you do not know, favorite items as well, here give damage taken and increases the cover's max HP. That's what favorite items give as a basic skill. Y'all are not listening. They get defense 37% at the start of the battle, and damage taken 17%, and cover max HP increased by 30%. Favorite item characters get this. Bei literally just got the craziest favorite item of all time. And this is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Bei is going to be on every single one of my teams from this point on because I cannot lose now. With Bei's favorite item, I cannot die if I have her and Crown on the same team. You cannot die if you have her and Crown on the same team. Not to mention, if I'm not using my burst skill, what does Crown do? Right here, she gives a defensive buff as well, which is still going to be very broken for, what's her name? Bei. Not to mention, she gives a shield. Bei and Crown is literally going to be the most nastiest, tankiest combo of all time. Hey, Bei is up like Donald Trump. It's your boy Zxous. Let me know what you guys think. I'm getting your favorite item now. I'm getting it tonight. Okay, it's your boy Zxous. Bye.